Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a little bit of a cozy reading vlog, I suppose. This is the week between Christmas and New Year's. Time is just a construct. We have no idea like what we're doing, what day, whenever. So I thought it could be fun to film like a little cozy reading vlog and just see what I pick up. Today is December 30th, so only 2 days left in 2024, and it's actually nighttime, if you can't tell by this lighting. But I can probably only read like one more book in this year, which is actually perfect, and I will explain in a minute why. But we will be reading that book together in this vlog, as well as like seeing what we're going to pick up in 2025. I don't know what my first book is going to be yet. So we'll chat about that for a little bit. I might read a couple of books in this vlog. I just thought it would be fun to do like a little cozy time. We might go to the beach. We might go for a little hike. I don't know what we're going to do. So I thought I'd bring you along. We're going to film a little reading vloggy vlog and have a great time. So let's talk about what I'm reading currently. As you saw, I am rereading A Court of Thorns and Roses. I reread this every year around Christmas because it's Feyre's birthday on the winter solstice. And I actually started this on her birthday, but I read like very few pages, like maybe 2 chapters or something, 4 chapters, like nothing before this morning when I started reading this again. So I really was not that far into it because I was not that into it. I think I needed something non fantasy for a little bit. So I put this down for a few days. I picked it back up this morning and I have flown through it. I'm currently on page 329. There are like 415 ish pages in this book. So I have just under 100 pages left to read. I don't think I'll be reading a ton tomorrow just because it's New Year's Eve. I've got some family coming in town for literally one day. So I might like skip over in this vlog for a day. But I don't know. We'll see what I get done. I'm hoping to finish this tonight, and I probably won't read anything tomorrow, but that's the current plan. This will be my last book of 2024. This will be book number 180, which is such a clean number to me. Like, I'm so happy to end at that number. It's like delightful to my ears. So this will be the final book, and I love ending on a reread, like a book that I love. I think that's so special. And then I don't know what I'm going to read next. I'm thinking maybe The Winners. I need to read Iron Flame, but I don't think that I want that to be the first book in 2025. I also have like a couple of books on my TBR, a couple of books on my radar. I feel like the first book of the year kind of like sets you up for the year. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. The Winners feels very heavy, it feels very long. So, I don't know if that'll be the vibe we want to go with, but we'll see when we get there what I'm feeling. I will obviously take you guys along with me. Let's go ahead and finish ACOTAR, and then we'll finish out 2024. I can't believe I'm saying that. It feels like this year flew by. I cannot believe it. I like am not ready for the new year. I don't I feel like I need a few days to like ease in and then start my goal setting and like my focus for the new year like 5 days in. Like, can we give me 5 days? So really, I think this week is just kind of like a in between week. We're starting the new year on January 6th. So this vlog will just be like an in between. We're in the in between, and I love that for me. So let's go ahead and finish Hector. Happy New Year, my friends. It is January 1st. We are still filming this little cozy reading vlog. I had my family in town over the last couple of days, so I haven't done a ton of reading, but I do have an update for you. But today they left this morning, so we are doing like a full reset, lots of laundry, lots of cleaning. I'm finally done, so I'm going to sit down and read, but I wanted to pop in and give you like a little update on my reading. So, as you know, I was reading A Court of Thorns and Roses, and we finished this last night. This made the last book of 2024. This is actually usually my last book of the year, to be honest, because I reread it every Christmas. And this is book number 180. I love a clean number, so that was perfect. I love this book. I don't know how much I need to give you because I feel like everyone has read this before, and if you haven't, what are you doing? Go read this. But I honestly think this gets better and better every time I pick it up. Like, I think I rated it 5 stars this year on Goodreads and last year maybe. But when I first read it, I gave it like a 3.5. Like, oh, this is good. Like, I'm intrigued. And book two, A Court of Mist and Fury, obviously like catches me and pulls me in even more than this one. But I just think this is such a solid start to this series. Like every time I read it, I find more things that I love, more hints, more theories, little moments that you kind of miss. So I'm so glad I reread this. I'm always glad I reread this, but this was my last book of 2024. And I was thinking about what book I want to pick up first in 2025 because it feels like a big decision. Not that like it starts my year off or like defines my reading year, but I wanted something that would like be kind of quick. I mean, I am trying to read less in 2025 just because I feel like I fly through books pretty quickly. And sometimes that's a good thing because it means I'm really interested. And sometimes I'm just like reading to read and I kind of forget what I'm reading. And I just want to like immerse myself a little bit more in my stories and maybe find some other hobbies or things to do. So I'm trying to slow down a little bit. But I didn't want to sit on like one book for like a week because I felt like that wouldn't feel right for the beginning of the year for me. So I I decided to pick up All the Missing Pieces by Catherine Cowles. This is on my January TBR. If you didn't watch that video, I will link it down below in case you're interested in watching. But this one is so pretty. This was actually sent to me by the publisher. So thank you so much, Source Books, for sending this one my way. I think this comes out in January, so this is kind of perfect time to read it. And I don't really know much about it. I'm going to read you the synopsis really quickly and then we'll find out together. Ridley Sawyer knows what it's like to miss someone, to feel like a piece of her vanished because it happened to her the night her twin sister disappeared. Ooh. Now Ridley channels that loss into hope, traveling the country covering cold cases for her true crime podcast. She might not have found justice for her sister, but that doesn't stop her from finding it for others until Sheriff Coulter Brooks gets in her way. Ooh, so intrigued. I just read a couple of other books by Catherine Cowles. If you don't know, she usually writes like romantic suspense, and this one is her new one. I believe it is a standalone. I don't think it's part of a series or anything, which is really exciting. I've been reading a lot of her series books, and I kind of like burn out kind of quickly, so I can't binge them all at once because then I'm not really enjoying myself anymore. So like a one-off is perfect. I think I'm gonna love this. I don't know. It's a romance, got some suspense. I love a true crime podcast. I think she's going to try to solve a crime and maybe find out more details about her twin sister's disappearance, which would be really fun. So, this is the first book of 2025. I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I will let you know when I'm, I don't know, 100, 150 pages. I don't even know how long this book is. It's just over 350 pages. So I think this will take me a couple days, which is perfect. That's just what I wanted for my first book of the year. So let's go ahead and start. If you haven't noticed, I'm wearing my Texas shirt. I did go to UT. Today was a very stressful day. I love starting my year off with like 3 hours of stress. It's great, but we did win. I am obviously getting ready for bed, but I want to do a quick update for you on All the Missing Pieces. Today I got to page 130 and overall I'm having a great time. So this is about our main character Ridley, who 5 years ago her twin sister disappeared, like went missing, and they've never found her. But in the 5 years since, she has started her own like true crime podcast in which she like goes to these little towns and finds cold cases and tries to solve them or like gather the community together to figure out what happened and what have you. So she has solved a few of the cold cases and some she's helped like bring some progress along, which is really great. She shows up at this small town in Northern California and she starts asking questions about this girl who was abducted 10 years ago, but she escaped and is a survivor, which is incredibly rare. But she believes that this case is tied to her sister's disappearance, and so it's personal to her. But the sheriff like kind of comes out swinging and is like, you're just looking for Instagram followers or TikTok followers or whatever, and like money from your sponsors, like you don't care about this community and these people. And he doesn't realize that she has like a tie to it. And so it's a little bit of like, I don't know if I would say enemies to lovers, but they're definitely not on good terms when they first meet. He is very grumpy obviously he's like allowed this situation to harden him as like the sheriff of this town. He's very protective. He wants to like take care of the people and protect the people, and he feels like he hasn't been able to do that in the past. So he's kind of got like this rough, bitter exterior, and she has kind of allowed this experience in her life to help her see the light in the darkness and find the happy in everyday life, and just like the opposite experience for her. So a little bit of like grumpy sunshine. They really are not on the same page at all. Even now, like I'm 130 pages in and I feel like he still thinks the worst of her, but you can tell that there's some attraction there. So overall, like this is one of my favorite Catherine Cowles that I've started so far, so that's a great sign. I think the writing is really good. I don't know, I just love like Ridley's voice in this book. I think it's not too like cheery, it's not too preachy, but it feels very like wholesome and real, and like she's taken this experience and allowed herself to like not let it like affect her in a negative way. And I just kind of really love that. Like obviously it's not perfect and she still misses her sister a ton, but there is some level of this as like she's going to try to help people instead of just like sit in her shell and let it control her life. So I love that aspect of it. I think the town is really cute. I think the thing that's really getting me is in one of the last Catherine Cowles books, I was so thrown for a loop by the suspense aspect. Like I did not guess who was behind everything, like who the villain was. And so I feel like in this book, I'm finding like everyone, I'm like, ooh, it's the best friend. Ooh, it's the cafe owner. Ooh, it's the coach. Ooh, it's the whatever. Like I'm doubting everyone. So I don't know who it's gonna be. I'm leaving my mind open, but like I don't want to be blindsided again, but it's making me like doubt everyone. So I'm having a little bit of a hard time like letting that go, and I just need to enjoy the story. I need to have a good time, which I am, but I need to like stop being the sheriff here and like trying to catch the bad guy and like break the case open and just enjoy the story for what it is. So I'm having a really good time. As you can see, I'm getting ready for bed. I'm exhausted. It's only 9:15, so I will probably read in bed for a little bit, but then go to sleep. I'm happy to end this book at like halfway, so if I got to page 200, I would be ecstatic. I don't know if that will even happen, but I'll give you an update tomorrow when I've read some more. Having a great time, and this cover is so perfect. Ridley has a VW bus that she lives in. She drives it across the country, and it's just so cute. And so that makes me really happy that my first book of the year is giving me such great feelings. Please ignore all of this. It has been a day, but I have a little bit of time. Right now I'm gonna sit down and do some reading, but I wanna give you a quick update because I did manage to get to the 200 page mark last night. I'm at page 220 and I'm still having the best time with this. A few things have happened that are more on like the suspense aspect of this plot, and I'm having a really good time. I think that there are some things moving within our two main characters for them to get together. They still are like, I don't want to say enemies, but they are not like, they don't really like each other, or so they say. And I am curious to see how we're going to get to them being together because there's only like 130 pages left in this book. So it's definitely a slow burn, but I'm still having a good time. So I'm hoping to get a little bit read right now, and I'll probably give you an update when I finish because I think I'm just gonna like fly through the end of this book. But Colt and Ridley together are so cute. I'm still sus of everyone in this book. So I have no leads on who I think the villain is in this book, but hopefully I'll figure it out, and hopefully it won't catch me too much off guard because I I don't love that. I just finished All the Missing Pieces. This was so good. I am feeling like I'm really into romantic suspense right now, which is so unlike me, but I'm like, give me more of this. Whatever this was, I want more of this. Let me see if I can like put my thoughts into words, because I literally just finished and I've been sitting on it for like 2 minutes maybe. But I wanted to jump on here and give you an update, like real time, to talk about my thoughts, because I had such a good time reading this. I was right to be suspicious of everyone. When you read this, you'll know and please read this. This was so good. This is a standalone, which makes me really happy, because I feel like I don't have to like look forward to, or like, it didn't have me thinking about like, oh, who's the new couple or who's the next couple in the series. Like I could really focus on Colt and Ridley, which was really nice. So I kind of loved that about this. I think I'm giving this book a 4-star, and here's why. I loved my experience reading this book. I loved that it kept me on my toes. I loved that once we found out like what happened and what like the mystery was, we didn't sit in that for too long. Like it resolved pretty quickly, which I enjoyed, because I had enough anxiety like going up to that part. I don't need to have anxiety about like who is going to not survive this. So I did enjoy that aspect. I loved like our little small town vibes, the found family aspect, all of the little like side characters from the small town. I loved that aspect. I really did enjoy like our 2 main characters as well. I think Ridley is like a super independent, strong woman because she has to be. She's very sunshiny because she kind of has to be. And I loved that about her. I also loved Colt. I liked that he was a little grumpy. I think he was a little too rough around the edges at the beginning, to be honest. Like I understand why he was the way that he was, but I was like, can we like tone this down just a wee bit? And I think for me overall with Catherine Cowell's writing, I just don't always love like the dialogue between our FMC and our MMC. Like, not that it's bad. Like, I think this book is very well written, and I think Catherine Cowles is a great writer. There's just a feeling in me that I'm like, I don't know if people talk like that or what have you. So it's a personal preference, honestly, but like it didn't deter me from liking this book. Like I still had a great time. So if you're looking for a romantic suspense that's not a series, but it's not going to like keep you up at night either, highly recommend All the Missing Pieces. I believe this comes out January 7th. I believe it'll be out by the time this video is out. So really enjoyed this. I'm so glad that this was my first read of 2025. Like, what a way to start out. I'm super happy. I don't know what I'm going to pick up next. I don't want anything like too long that's going to take me too long to read, because I think I just want to kind of like ease into stuff. So I'll pick something. I'll let you know when I got it, but overall, what a way to start 2025. I'm feeling like I want to stick with the romance genre right now, so I'm going to read Come Break My Heart Again by C.W. Farnsworth. I've heard this is a little angsty. It is a second chance romance. Let's see how long this one is. I'm loving my new Kindle, my little setup. 425 pages. All right, let's get started. Hello, my friends. It is Saturday and I'm about to sit down and do some reading, but I realized I need to give you a bit of an update because I did start Come Break My Heart Again by C.W. Farnsworth, and it's been a couple of days. I haven't done a ton of reading, but I realized I haven't really told you anything about this book, and I'm hoping to finish it in this vlog. So, quick like synopsis. Come Break My Heart Again is a second chance romance. I wouldn't say the premise is anything like super unique. We have our main character, Elle, who it is dual timeline, which is good. Like, I'm loving that. But when they were in high school, she's like the head cheerleader. She's from the wealthy family. She's the most popular girl in school. But she's also like doesn't love that. Like she kind of wants to rebel, but doesn't feel like she can or can't like do her own thing. She feels like she has to stay within the box that she's been placed in. And then you have Ryder, who is like from the trailer park, kind of like giving other side of the tracks vibes. Like he's the bad boy, she's the good girl. He moves back for their senior year of high school, and you kind of get the sense that something happened before he left their freshman year. But when he moves back, she's dating the quarterback of the football team. He's the rich boy in town. And when Ryder moves back, Elle and Ryder immediately realize that they still have like a spark. And so we're kind of getting that side of things in the then timeline, but the now timeline, you know that they haven't talked in like 7 years. And he has been away that whole time. And they haven't been reconnected yet in the now timeline, but I'm sure that's happening soon because of various reasons that are going to connect them. But I think the interesting thing about this book is not only is it now and then timeline, but it's also dual POV. So we get like multiple points of view of different things that are happening throughout their life and throughout their relationship. So I think it gives it a little bit more depth, more connection, and kind of building that emotional connection, that emotional chemistry that I want in a book. So I feel like this is going to be a little angsty. I am really enjoying it so far. I would say I don't know, maybe 30% in. I'm on page 124. Yeah, 29% in. So I'm hoping to finish this in the next couple of days. I want to finish it in this vlog to give you guys my final thoughts. But so far, like I'm having a really good time. It's not like revolutionary, but I feel like for me, I love getting like a little bit of a deeper emotional connection when I'm reading a romance. And this is giving me what I want. So I'm really happy. I would love to get this done relatively quickly. Not that I'm trying to race through it, but I'm having a good time reading it. Like, I don't want to put it down. So I think that's a good sign. Also, this is a very random general question, but we got my son a fish for Christmas from Santa, and it already died. It's been like a week and a half. So I'm like, are we doing something wrong? If you know anything about fish, it's a betta. If you know anything about betta fish that can help a girl out, please let me know because we're really struggling. Like, we just got it. It should not be dead already. So I'm very curious. Like, we feed it every day, take care of it, the lights on, the heater, the filter, everything. So, like, what are we doing wrong? I don't know, but it's kind of discouraging. I don't think my son knows yet that the fish is dead. He hasn't seen her today. So I just don't know what to do. It's so frustrating. This is why I don't have any pets. Like, I can't deal with the stress. I can't. Anyways, very off topic. If you know anything about fish, let me know in the comments or reach out to me because I'm really struggling with this. Anyways, let's get to reading. Can't wait to pick this up again. I would love to get like to the 50% mark before anyone comes home. Fingers crossed.
We are just over 50% through Come Break My Heart Again. It's getting so good. I'm loving all the POVs. I've got a few little Reese's Treats left, a cup of hot tea, and ignore all of this. We've got football on. It's like the perfect lazy weekend day. Let's get to reading.
It is now Sunday morning and it's time to wrap up this little reading vlog because I did in fact finish my book last night. So final thoughts on Come Break My Heart Again. I had a really good time reading this. Honestly, I thought it was going to be a 5-star. Like it was giving me those vibes halfway through the book. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so loving this. But I think something at the end, like I just didn't love. I feel like we got so much flashbacks, which was great. But there was something about the ending of this book that just didn't work for me. And I think it's because I feel like there's a lot of stuff in the now timeline of the story that felt very much like individual. Like our two main characters are figuring out their lives. They do interact quite a bit in the now timeline, but there was something that I felt like was missing. And maybe it's because they know each other so well, but I feel like we jump from 0 to 60 with them like not necessarily hating each other, but not being together and really trying to figure it out or whatever, to like being together really quickly. And there was just something missing for me. But overall, like I had such a good time reading this. If you like an angsty second chance romance, I highly recommend picking this up. I just felt like it was much more emotional, which I appreciate because I do feel like I need some more emotion to go along with my romance. So I really did enjoy this book. I'm really surprised. I feel like with C.W. Farnsworth, it's a little bit or hit or miss with me, and this one was a hit. So I'm excited to read a few more of her books this year. I try to read a few every year just to catch up, like on her whole backlist, and I've missed quite a few recently. So I am playing catch up a little bit, but I'm really glad I read that one this year. I'm also planning on reading False God this year, which is the Kensington series. So if you are like a romance lover, please go check out C.W. Farnsworth. She's written some fantastic romances, in my opinion. I did manage to read two other books in this vlog. I did start out with a reread of A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is a 5-star for me. We know this. We don't have to keep talking about this. And then I also read All the Missing Pieces by Catherine Cowles. This does come out on January 7th. This was such a delight and really got me thinking about reading more romantic suspense. So if you have any recommendations on romantic suspense books, please leave them in the comments down below because this is a subgenre that I think I'm really going to dive into this year. So highly recommend this one as well. I gave this 4 stars. Also, really loved it. I already talked about this one a ton, so we don't need to keep talking about it. So overall in this vlog, I managed to read 3 books. I'm super happy with my progress this week, and like what a great way to end 2024 as well as start 2025. So already I'm off to a bang. 2 4-star books in the first week of the new year. That makes me super happy and really encouraged about my reading for 2025. I feel like I'm being a little bit more selective. I'm being more particular and not necessarily being less strict with like my ratings or whatever, but like I feel like if I choose books that I actually think I'll enjoy and really love and not just follow the masses, I'm going to have overall higher ratings on the books that I do read. So that's just a good thing to remember throughout the year. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you have a wonderful day and hopefully I will catch you in the next one.